Hello and welcome to a special episode of Are You Creative podcast with an amazing guest, the stuntman Andy Pilgrim. We recorded this at Essex Podcast Festival at Chelmsford Theatre, so it's in front of a live audience of about 40 people. A little bit of a different format to usual, but it is brilliant anyway. Sangeeta's not there, so it's a different vibe. She was off on holiday, sunning herself and drinking cocktails. So we've got special guest co-host, Adele Barker, who was one of our previous guests, and she is hilarious. She was a great co-host. So we miss you, Sangeeta, but well done, Adele. So yeah, listen and enjoy. Also, just as a side note, I got the host, Sarah Tupper, to say I was the best dressed man in Essex. So I'm off to put that on my LinkedIn profile while you listen to this podcast. Bye.
Without further ado, I'm very, very privileged to welcome onto the stage Nick and Adele, the best dressed man in Essex, I'm going to go for, with the Are You Creative podcast.
Yeah, we've got a crowd here. So this is the first time we've ever done the podcast with a crowd.
Yes.
Hang on, about 5,000 full capacity. Can we hear you? Come on, crowd, give us some noise. I'm going to edit like a really big crowd noise onto that.
Are you going to get one of those really bad PowerPoint ones that sound like someone done? No, it sounds like 8-bit clapping. It's terrible.
So Adele, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Brat Summer's over. You've been the star of Sky Pride.
Yeah, no one actually cares about that. No one's here to see me. You
had your face 20 foot on the side of a bus.
I did. That was good fun. And on the public underground, which, to be fair, that's not hard. I've seen the worst stickers on the public underground, and my face on there is probably the best I've seen. So
yeah, has anyone drawn glasses on your face or anything?
Maybe. Yeah.
So you are not Sangeeta.
No, I'm not. I'm the other diversity hire that you brought in. So that's Nick called me up and was like, "Sangeeta can't do it. Can I get you?" And I was like, "Why'd you ask me?" Well, you're trans, you're local, and you don't cost any money, and you're free on a Saturday. So I said, "Yeah, I'll do that. Why not?"
But John Lewis have actually recreated Sangeeta's lounge here for us on stage. It's exactly her lounge, except there's no bottle of Lucasade and ashtray. Everyone in Chelmsford. So we are here. This is the Are You Creative podcast. We're talking about creativity in and around Essex, where we meet loads and loads of different interesting people and find out about all their creative practice. And we're here at the Essex Podcast Festival in Chelmsford Theatre, which is amazing. Why have they got it here? Because Chelmsford is the birthplace of radio. You might have seen the statue of Gary Macaroni outside with the lightning shooting out of his finger. See that?
Macaroni.
Gary Macaroni, is an unlockable character in Mortal Kombat 8 with the lightning shooting out of his finger. And he apparently invented radio.
If he gets to Fortnite, then that's it. He's made it.
Exactly. So we're here. And we've got an amazing guest today.
We have.
It is Andy Pilgrim. And now, everyone, can you give a big cheer for Andy Pilgrim, please? Woo! Now, Andy, I've just got to do a quick check. Are you from Essex?
Yes, from Essex.
You're from Chelmsford?
From Chelmsford, yeah.
Incredible.
There you go.
And Andy, are you creative?
Yes, I'm creative.
You may cheer.
Yep, there you go.
And sigh of relief.
And a sigh of relief. It's a pretty short podcast if you say no.
No. Good night, everybody.
So, Andy, what do you do?
So I'm a professional fisherman.
A professional fisherman?
Yeah.
And the fishing coordinator as well.
No, I just fired for it. No, I'm a stuntman, so I work in film as a stunt performer and a stunt coordinator.
That's pretty amazing, right? Now I've got a list of some of the things you've been in, and we're gonna get some crowd reactions to these. Okay, see how popular these films and TV shows are.
Podcast is going to be Nick reading a list of movies out for the next 45 minutes.
That's what I thought. If it doesn't go well, I can do it.
That is so Andy Kaufman of you.
Andy Pilgrim has pretty much the best IMDb page I've ever seen. So here we go. Ready? Everyone ready to cheer? We'll take a temperature in the room. Inception. Game of Thrones. Dark Knight. The Batman. Woo! Oh, the Batman's more popular than Dark Knight.
I watched it recently.
Chris Nolan will be gutted. Robin Hood. Sherlock Holmes. Kick-Ass. Rogue One. Star Wars. I mean, that's a 10 out of 10 film for me.
Can we say, though, like, the reaction isn't because of Andy's involvement in these movies?
It is, no.
It's just the things that get him excited, right? I'm just putting that disclaimer out.
Here we go. Ready? We're going. The Witcher, Vikings, Harry Potter. Yeah, they love Harry Potter. Pirates of the Caribbean. Maybe a bit more popular a few years ago. Mission Impossible, Kingsmen, Avengers, Killing Eve, Emmerdale. Emmerdale.
Hey, Emmerdale.
What happened in Emmerdale?
It's just the music.
Cow-related stunts.
Nearly fell off a cliff. I don't want to talk about it.
You had to fall off a cliff.
Nearly fell off a cliff on that one. The line was a little bit long, slightly too far over the edge.
I don't want to talk about
I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, baton.
You're rescuing a cow when you fell off a cliff. Is that what's happening?
Cow was running at me. Yeah. No.
So, and I've got to check your stunt credentials as well. So,
Sure.
here we go. Adele, you can join in here. We're gonna test some credentials. So, have you jumped out of an explosion in slow motion?
Yes, many times. Yeah.
Have you jumped off the top of a building?
Yeah.
On a horse?
Not many. On a horse? No. On a green screen on a horse, maybe.
On a green screen on a
maybe.
horse?
Maybe.
Have you done a big jump on a motorbike?
I'm not a biker guy.
You're not a biker?
No.
Okay, that's negative, yeah?
Yeah,
Well,
sorry about that.
have you Tarzaned on a vine?
Yes.
You have. You've Tarzaned on a vine as well. That's
Yeah.
literally as
Yeah.
Tarzan, or just
Not as Tarzan. No. Not
have
as
you jumped
Tarzan.
off a moving train?
I haven't jumped off a moving train, no. No.
And look,
It's on my bucket list,
Yeah,
so,
on your
so
bucket
it's
list.
definitely
We can
there
sort it out.
on the list.
you still got time to do it. And have you driven a car through a pile of boxes?
Yeah.
Watermelons?
Not watermelons.
Okay, all right.
I got one. Have you ever been set alight? So basically, you've been set on fire
Yeah, many times. Yeah.
for jobs, for work, or just on a Friday night?
Well, both really. No.
But this is mostly an audio only podcast, and Andy did actually come on stage on fire. If you're listening to it at home,
There you
I
go.
know what I thought Andy did. He tripped when he walked up, and I thought such a stuntman move.
classic. He
Such
would
a
have just rolled out of it,
Yeah.
and then this rug probably would have flown around with him on it and stuff like that. Yeah. So you actually got burnt by a dragon.
On the Game of Thrones, yeah, well, that was a big thing that we
You
did.
got Dracarys.
We got Dracarys many times. Yeah.
How many times do you have to get Dracarys?
We did quite a few seasons. It started in season 5 and it went all the way through to the last season, and they just got bigger and bigger as time went on.
More and more Dracarysing.
Yeah. More burns, more people.
How many scenes were you in with a dragon Dracarysing you?
I don't know. There was a few. Yeah. Just trying to think.
How do you even start getting, learning to be set on fire?
So it starts with training. So it all starts with the closest thing you can do to full fire burns is actually scuba diving, believe it or not. Deep diving, and you just get in that zone and relaxing. And it's really important to stay nice and relaxed and calm when you're doing a full burn. A lot of it is preparation. So it's all about the people you're working with and staying relaxed. You have to obviously wear a full head mask. So you have to hold your breath. That's so important. The worst thing you can do is breathe in fire. That's that's the worst case scenario.
So when the dragon's burning you, how long do you have to hold your breath for?
About 40 seconds, all in all, by the time from start to finish, which doesn't sound long at all. You can hold your breath for like 2 to 3 minutes. Most people can do that pretty easily. But when you've got the adrenaline firing through your veins and you're acting and
you're on fire.
And you're on fire. You kind of forget that bit. It's
kind of like-
if you're in the right mindset, it's all mind over matter. It's just staying calm and in the zone, and you can't see anything anyway. So
Your Outlook must be crazy. Like your Microsoft Outlook calendar must be like Monday, be set on fire.
Yeah.
Tuesday, underwater. Thursday, nearly get thrown off a cliff on
it
Emmerdale.
is a little bit like that. Yeah, it
you-
is a little bit.
Do you know what you're going to be doing when you turn up on set?
You tend to ask when you start out. Yeah, when you start out, you don't, and then you soon learn that.
Just turn up, put on this really hot suit. It smells a bit petrol-y. Yeah, no, that's all right. Go stand over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a question about how you started becoming like a stunt sort of performer, right? Because I'm one of those people, I always assume everybody in whatever walk of life, they've got some kind of origin story. And I think that no matter what they do in life, it's an origin story. And I just imagine you as a young kid walking, messing around with your siblings and then falling over a coffee table. But you did it so well, your parents were like, do that again. That was amazing.
But on fire.
But do it on fire. Yeah, and it's like, oh, I could do this as a career. Is that how it is? Have I got it spot on?
No.
Oh.
No, I was a gymnast and a high diver, and I did judo as a kid, and I was into theatre. So becoming a stuntman wasn't actually my first choice, believe it or not.
What was your first choice?
I don't know.
Gymnast?
I didn't really know.
An accountant.
Yeah. I don't
It's
know.
a nice, easy job.
Yeah, nice, easy job. But it just so happened it's what I'm best at doing, and it's what I was best at doing. And it's not all about bravery and, doing this and, crazy stuff. It's all about assessing risks a lot of the time, which may sound a bit boring, but that's the truth of it. The fact is, you want to go home after a day's work, and when you get to the stage of the career that I'm at now, you need to look after actors of all different walks of life, and it's some of the stuff's basic stuff, some of the stuff's more extreme, but you got to keep them safe. So it's all about having a level head and keeping them safe, and having done that from the other side as a performer, and now I'm coordinating, now looking after the actors. You've done it, and other stunt people, you're making sure they're safe. So it's all about having the training, but also being level headed and keeping people safe. So. But yeah, the origin story is I was a sports person, really. That's kind of what got me into the game.
So how young were you when you started gymnastics?
I was 5. So I was 5, and I was lucky enough to go to a really good school in Chelmsford, who were national champions for many, many years, Tyrrell School. And I went to Boswell's, another great school, and then they went into, really good for theatre.
Hang on, there's a big cheer there for Boswell's.
Cheer for Boswell School.
Popular school, that one.
Other schools are available.
Other schools are available.
But when you were at the gymnastic club as well, I think, did a few people get recruited from there for stuntman work? David Holmes was in the same club as you?
So that was, yeah. So after the school life, I joined at 10. I joined and started artistic gymnastics in 6 pieces, and then actually my gym coach at the time was a stuntman, and still is a stuntman, still working. And David Holmes was one of the younger guys, younger lads, and he got picked up for the doubling the Harry Potter role. On that, his actual first job was Lost in Space with Matt LeBlanc, but yeah, he ended up going off and disappearing off to do Harry Potter.
So it sounds like your gymnastic. It wasn't really a gymnastic club; it was Stunt Academy, really, wasn't it? This guy's recruiting from it. How many of you got jobs?
Yeah, and they still do. All the kids on Matilda were from South Essex Gymnastics Club, which is another shout out to South Essex Gymnastics Club. They've had some brilliant gymnasts over the years.
No, there was no cheer for them.
There's no cheer.
But we have got some kids in today, so like they could start out now. South Essex Gymnastic Club. They could. What do you learn there? You're doing like trampolining and
gymnastics is just one sport that's useful for stunts. I mean, there's obviously fight sports, there's driving, riding. There's many different sports that kind of lend themselves to a career as a stunt performer. Football's not really one. The team sports. It's more individual stuff, and also acting experience. You need that acting time on set, working with cameras and working out. There's no point of you can be the best performer, but unless you're performing in the right places in front of the camera, it's a bit pointless. But
you say football's not important, but there's so many bad football films with the football performances are awful by actors, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean,
you got to get a stuntman in for football as well, surely. A diving save, overhead kick.
I've done a couple of football commercials, but yeah, I mean, generally they'll get specialists in to do that. I mean.
So when you got your gymnastics, right? I'm interested here because you got to get so many skills. So you're talking about high diving as well.
So to join the British Stunt Register, you need 6 sports at like a high level. You need to be an instructor in scuba diving, a black belt in martial arts. There's lots of different British Stunt Register tests for high diving, gymnastics, horse riding. We've got the rally driving. So there's lots of different.
Lightsabers?
Yeah, so lightsabers.
Lightsaber test?
There's not a lightsaber test as such, no. That kind of comes, could be onto something there.
They make jump out of a helicopter?
Skydiving, yeah. So there's.
So you've got to be world class level on 6 different things to be in the stunt.
Not necessarily world class, but you need to be national. I'd say national level, or at least a very high level.
You've got to want to do it as well, right?
And you've got to, it doesn't. It's like any job. If you haven't got a passion for it, then it's just going to fizzle out, and you'll soon get found out if you. And you also need to take a knock, obviously, as well. That I forget to say that part. But if you can be the best performer in these sports, but if you get smashed up and can't get up again, then you're not going to be a very good stuntman.
Yeah. So you've got to get Wolverine skills, like regeneration skills.
Yeah. You can't blag it. You can't be a blagging sort of stunt person. It's like, oh, I'll do the quick little jump there, but I'm not jumping out of that window.
There are a few of them as well. I've got to say.
Then I get Andy in. Andy will jump off that. He'll set himself on fire.
Yeah, it takes all sorts. Some people don't work at heights. Some people don't enjoy jumping off of buildings. Myself, I don't do bikes. I can ride a bike, but as far as doing a jump or anything like that, I'll say no. You want to get these guys. You've got to work to your strengths, but the idea is to become an all-round stunt performer. So when you're on set, one day you might be driving a car. Mm-hmm. The next day, you need to rig that. You need to rig that zip line so the actor can go down there.
Yeah.
And then the next day you might be jumping on a horse. There's all these things that are required of a stunt performer, and that's the idea of the British Stunt Register. So you train across the board rather than let's bring a specialist in for this. Yeah. Let's bring a specialist. It just doesn't really work.
Well, it's a safety thing as well, like you said. You must be one of those people, like, when you finish your day's work and you get home, and like if you worked in a coffee shop, you'd be like, I don't want to see a single cup of coffee for the rest of the day. You must get home and just walk home to the most safest room in the world. It's like, I'm not going to fall down, I'm not going to hurt myself, I'm just going to go into this big bubble room and just be very safe.
I've got a lovely hot tub, put it that way.
Yeah.
He does high dive into it off the roof of the house on fire though. Do
you ever get those? Well, you must get this thing where people say, like, if you're a comedian and you see someone you're having a drink, tell us a joke. Do people say to you, set yourself on fire and jump out that window for us?
I used to do it, but
party trick.
Yeah, but as I've got older, I've tended to sway away from doing silly things like that. As my wife always tells me not.
Meet Andy in the bar after this. He might do some requests.
This is funny for you, though, isn't it? 'Cause you don't normally talk about being a stuntman. You're like, I met you at the pub, and then it turned out you were a stuntman, and it was like, what? Yeah,
exactly. It's not people don't always believe you if you start talking about your job and then. But the stuntman's always the guy in the background, right? The guy that doesn't talk about what they do for the actors, and I quite like that. I just enjoy the job for what it is, and looking after actors, and I love that side of it. I don't think anyone would really like it if you start going around. Yeah, I'm a stuntman. Yeah.
Throw yourself
really
through
cool.
That table.
Yeah. So,
smash this glass into your face.
Especially in Chelmsford,
there is a comedy movie.
Maybe in Hollywood, but
exactly. People trying to set fire to you and stuff. So, it's pretty amazing. You've gone from South Essex Gymnastics Club to winning a Taurus award for the best action sequence, which is like basically the stunt Oscars, is it?
Yeah, we haven't got our own Oscars, as people may know that have been following. The stuntmen don't have an Oscar or any recognition in any award ceremony whatsoever, which is quite weird, considering the what people do for what stunt people do for the film process.
They're scared of you. That's why at the Oscars, they don't know what you're going to do on stage.
I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, the Taurus Award is the stunt awards for stuntmen. So that's.
And what did you get the award for?
So that was for the best fight. That was for the Dark Knight.
I think we can have a cheer.
2 years ago,
Andy, please. The best fight in the Dark Knight, which is pretty much the best film as well. So best fight in the best film.
There you go.
What happened in the
Godfather of superhero movies.
Yeah, no, it is. No, so it was a scene where Batman kicked myself out of a window. And we were attached to it was all tied up, and we kicked out of the window, and ended up hanging outside of this building. So yeah, it was a cool little fight scene. That was quite near the start of my career, so it was quite a cool job.
And you were outside the window swinging on a rope. You had the big string of other
so it's like a sausage effect. Yeah.
Is that what you call it in the industry? Yeah, we're going to go for the sausage effect in this one.
I guess they could. Yeah.
Was it actually Christian Bale that kicked you out?
Yeah, it was Christian Bale, and
Wow.
yeah,
So you've
cool.
you've actually worked with two Batmen. So you are Pats as well
yeah,
in the Batman.
yeah. I worked on the most recent one. But yeah, I didn't do a huge amount on that last one, but yeah, I actually preferred The Dark Knight and Chris Nolan. I love his films; they're really cool films.
Yeah. So you were in Inception.
That's right.
As well.
Yeah.
Chris Nolan. I mean, every film he makes is amazing. You're in Interstellar as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inception, I doubled Tom Hardy, so that was on. We did the dream sequence where where it was all hanging upside down to create the illusion of being floating. And then I had a little part in that as well, being chased by Leonardo DiCaprio through the streets. I got taken out by a tuk-tuk.
Really,
Smashed me out.
the real Leo.
Yeah, the real Leo, yeah. He told me the best food in Morocco is in McDonald's.
Did he?
Yeah.
Is that the one thing you could get from Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah.
He eats McDonald's in Morocco.
Yeah, you go.
I was not expecting this exclusive today at Essex Podcast Festival.
That is going on Essex Live News.
Yeah,
You
headline.
know that.
Shout out to McDonald's. My daughter's just got a job there.
Let's talk about the Inception though. You were in that spinning. Was it a spinning room?
So it's a dream sequence. So we're all tied together, hanging upside down to create that scene. But yeah, the spinning room fights, they were my colleagues that did those actual fights. Yeah, I got there's lots of very, very good stuntmen out there that I work with. So, but yeah, it was that was a great fun, great job. And I also Robert Downey Junior was another guy that I doubled on Sherlock. That was quite.
Okay, we're name
If you're looking for names, you're looking down. So drop some names.
I was trying to avoid name dropping today.
Oh, you're trying to stop that?
Hey,
Okay,
look,
right, good.
we're on stage right now. We have the mics. You could name drop for the next 20 minutes and people would lap it up.
So this was Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes that you're in, and you were running through some trees and they're all blowing up. This is some sort of cannon battle or something. Was that the one?
Yes. That was one of the scenes. There's a few bits and bobs that cropped up in that film.
You got to play Sherlock. Like you were actually Sherlock
Yeah,
Holmes.
it's cool. It was cool putting on some Sherlock clothes and playing the guys, and that's a great part of the job. You get to dress up and you know, especially like the war films. I joining the military wasn't something I did, so you get to play soldiers and shoot guns and not actually get shot at in real life.
You got to play the coolest soldier. Though. You were in the Edge of Tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah.
Can we have a cheer for Edge of Tomorrow? I think it's very, very underrated. My kids here, you loved it, didn't you guys? Yeah, and you were in a mech suit. Is that must have been so uncomfortable to act in?
Yeah. So the suits that we had were about 40 kilograms. Was running around in those for weeks on end.
Running around in 40 kilograms.
Yeah. And
that's hardcore.
With Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Did you ever get tempted to ask Tom Cruise for a race? Because he's fast, isn't he?
He's very fast. He would have been a great stuntman if he wasn't such a good actor.
I feel like Tom Cruise is AI is taking away my jobs, right, in creative. Like AI is doing it all. I think like Tom Cruise is a bit like stuntman AI because he keeps doing all his own stunts, right? He's taking away all the work from you guys. He's jumping out of planes and riding motorbikes off cliffs and stuff. I don't know what else he's doing. Running really fast.
Yeah, I mean he has a stunt double who tests things and you know he's got a whole team behind him that prep stuff. But like I say, he's a bit of an adrenaline junkie and he produces his own movies, so he does do a lot of stuff. And he's a great driver. He's a great pilot. Flies helicopters and he's very very fast.
He's really fast. Has anyone got a speedo on him? Check. You want to get a speed gun and test him running, and then put his hands in flat mode and go even faster.
Yeah.
Do you ever get do you ever be on set with like these big name people and they watch you do a stunt? And do you ever get that like nod of approval or that thumbs up and just think, I've pleased Robert Downey Junior today, or Tom Cruise just gave me the thumbs up?
Yeah, it's always great doing a good job for people and making them look good. You know, that's a stuntman's job. You know, we rock in and we do the fights. Even if you're doing a fight with the actors, you're making them look good by your time and making as a playing a part. Because obviously we're not just doubles; we play parts as well within a lot of the films, and that they put us around the actors to keep the actors safe. So when you're doing these sequences with them, you're keeping them safe. And so yeah, it's always great working closely with these big names because you know who they are, but. I don't really get starstruck at all, so it's just
I don't think you can't stand at the top of a building about to jump off and just be like, oh my God, it's you lot! And then it would be a bit crazy.
Yeah.
So this year, the Fall Guy, Ryan Gosling movie come out, right? That was like a homage to stunt performer, wasn't it? It was about a stuntman. Great film, really good, and directed by an ex-stunt person,
David Leitch.
So have you seen the film yet?
I have seen it. Yeah.
What was your thoughts on it at being a stunt? And was you like, yeah, this is my life? I know it's Hollywood. You're not out there doing what Ryan Gosling.
I mean, this is Hollywood. Obviously, they've picked all the big stunts, which is fantastic. It's great to see. David Leitch was a stuntman, turned very, very good director. I worked with him once on Hobson Shaw a few years back. He's great, and but yeah, it was all very Hollywood. This is we're Pinewood here, right? So we're not Hollywood, we're Pinewood.
Pinewood's better than Hollywood, right? We need an Essex one, don't we?
There's starting to come over this way a bit more. The studios are starting to edge over this way, and
Basilwood or something like that.
Basilwood, there you go. But yeah, they're starting to come further this way, so there's starting to become more and more studios. And the industry has been a bit of a lull the last couple of years, with streaming platforms and not loads of movies being made. So I think we're going to turn a corner next year, and if you can survive till 2025, I think we're going to be busy next few years.
You've been actually I know you told me you've been doing some stunt coordination with some Essex with Danny Dyer fighting with carpet rolls. Is that right?
Yeah.
I know we've been talking about Chris Nolan and Robert Downey Junior.
Yeah, so
Danny Dyer, come on.
So if you go from one end of the scale, you go from sort of blockbuster Hollywood movies to TV. And I absolutely love working in TV because you can bring the creative side and you're a lot more hands-on as well with TV. You're working with a director and, you're creating these scenes. So yeah, we made a wicked fight scene on... I can't remember what the show's called. Sorry,
Mr. Big Stuff.
Mr. Big Stuff. Yeah, there you go. We had a wicked fight scene with carpet rolls in a carpet warehouse.
So how do you start coordinating that?
Yeah, so
how do you start? You can't just just switch the cameras on. We'll just start going for it.
It starts with the actors. I mean, Ryan Sampson, who is the writer, and played Danny Dyer's brother in that scene. So it's his creation. So you're working directly with the director and the writer, and you're creating their vision. So your job as a stunt, I wasn't the stunt coordinator on that, but your job as a stunt coordinator is helping to realise their vision. So they've got this vision in their mind, and you've got to make it come out. And obviously, the years of doing fight scenes, you're the most qualified person on that set to say, right, do it like this, do it like this. This is the camera angle. This is how it's going to work.
Yeah. So you're like, stick the camera over his shoulder, and it will look like he's really got a punch in the face.
Exactly. There's loads of tricks of the trade, and
if the camera's under the horse jumping off the roof, that's going to look wicked.
Exactly. Yeah. So actors will want to do what they want to do, and the writers and the directors, and you just got to say, okay, let's do it, but this is how we're going to do it, and this is how it's going to look the best, and this is how you're going to get the best out of the action.
So instead of making the actors look good as a stuntman, you're making the director look good as a stunt coordinator.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
You don't there's no ego with the director. I'll tell you how it's going to look best.
You wouldn't do that with David Leitch because he knows.
Yeah, that's the thing. So these guys that have been stuntmen, know their game and know their art form. There's a lot of directors that don't know how to direct action at all. And that's where either the second unit director will step in, who often has been a stuntman over the years, or you'll get a stunt coordinator will step in and make, let the director know this is how we're going to create this scene and make it look really cool, and work with your vision and make it, make it safe as well, because it's not only got to look really cool, it's also got to be safe because, like I say, it's a job and everyone wants to go home at the end of the day.
You're in a fight in The Witcher, in the mud in the square. And that's a long sequence, right? You think you're shooting for a week or something. But do you get to map that all out and do the action, work out the angles?
So I think the scene that you're talking about was in The Witcher in the first season, the Blaviken fight. So that scene actually took us 6 weeks to shoot that fight scene.
For probably 2 minutes
for a very short amount of time. And actually, the stunt coordinator I was working with on that one was called out from directly with Henry, because he just worked with him on Mission Impossible. So he called him out reshoot the scene they'd already shot. They actually sacked the cameraman, I think, and
There's a lot of swords on set there. You got to be careful.
So they called him in to reshoot that whole fight scene again, which was great. So we had 6 weeks to create the fight scene again. It was absolutely wicked. It was really cool. If you haven't seen it,
it's one of the best fights.
If you don't know The Witcher, just watch that fight scene because it was absolutely awesome.
Do you get stuck to a door with a sword or something? Is that what's your death in that?
Spoiler! I didn't know he died.
Well, if you haven't seen it now, don't. I've got a spoiler for you. Henry Cavill's left.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Don't fall in love with The Witcher now.
Yeah, but he does work in a lot of other good films.
Oh, exactly. He's a legend.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you get stuck through with a sword?
I don't think I did actually. I think I don't know. Everyone has their own death, right? I think I got done by an axe or something. But I had to be out quickly. I had to be killed quickly because I was taking my wife to the Grand Prix in Monaco. So I had to get done quickly so I could get an escape away at the end. And it's like, yeah, if you get done first, then you can get off first.
You're like, come on, Henry, just hit me with that axe. I've got plans. I'm busy.
Yeah, it's a 40th, so we had to,
Yeah, at Monaco, an arm off. Yeah, it's all right.
Still got an axe in the head. Have you done acting? Or is that anything that's kind of like lines?
Yeah, sometimes you get a few lines that, but it's not really my bag. You get some stuntmen that really want to be actors, and it's a great angle. I mean, you get so many opportunities. On Edge of Tomorrow, I was, the start of it, I was right next to Tom Cruise, playing the MP. That's not lines, but there's lots of opportunities along the way where you get thrown dialogue. You get stunt guys that are really good actors, and they actually, they end up doing loads of really cool stuff. But it's not really for me. It was all about stunts, the physical side of it, and just and as I say, keeping people safe and not getting hurt on set, because there are accidents that happen. So you just for me, it's all about being that guy that looks out for other people and just tries to keep people safe, along the way.
Does your wife and your family get really a bit worried when you go to work? Especially after everyone's seen this David Holmes documentary. It's fantastic, The Boy Who Lived.
Yeah,
I don't know if everyone's seen that. It's about Harry Potter. He broke his back, didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
Yeah. It was very very sad. But obviously the studio looked after him and stuff. But your wife and family must be careful today. Or
I don't know, because
they say break a leg or anything.
I have broken a leg, but no, they don't let it on too much. I don't tell him everything along the way either.
Yeah, what they say, what are you doing today, Dad? Like carpet roll fight? Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, no more fire.
Yeah. But you just try to not let them know when you're doing something too scary. But
you're minimising the risk the whole time, especially as coordinator. Do accidents happen, or is it pretty safe now on set?
Accidents do happen, but I mean, overall, the idea of it is that you take out every element of risks that you can on set. That's why you get the best people in for the jobs. But yeah, ultimately, it is a stunt, so that's why human error can crop in. So yeah, you take the risk out as much as you can on every job.
And you're under a lot of pressure on set as well, because the stunts probably got a big setup, if there's an explosion or, a big stack of watermelons, you don't want to restack them, right? So you've got to try and get the stunt right the first time, you've got to plan it all out properly. So how difficult is that? How many goes do you normally get at a stunt?
Well, yeah, if it's a massive reset, then obviously you've got one take. But yeah, it's all about preparation, having the right people around you working, staying calm, when your heart's going fast as anything, just taking a deep breath and just knowing that you're good at your job. You're there because you're the best at what you do, and you've trained and you're working with the best people out there. But ultimately, I've got a vision of a car landing on my head, and right now, sometimes you're told to go.
Hang on, me and Adele have got to just move away a little
flashback.
Is that going to happen? Is that the finale?
Sometimes you're told to go somewhere, and then it doesn't happen as it should do, and then accidents happen. So you've just got to realise that you've got to stay on your toes and it's not always the tricky stuff, like everyone talks about the big and scary stuff that it's often the simple stuff. You know, simple accidents can.
Like tripping.
You can step off a step, and if it's not looked at beforehand, or you can twist your ankle, break an ankle. So it's all about taking that element of risk out, and that's where the training and the expertise comes in.
So I saw you're in Children of Men, right? So I had a question from Jumping Jim Dexter, who's in the audience here. Give us a shout, Jim. There he is. He was asking, he was saying, some of those Children of Men shots, they're about a 20-minute long camera shot. And if you've got to do a stunt at some point, the pressure must be so high that they've done this whole 20-minute shot, and then you've got to go die and fall off something or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's called a oner. So when you've got a scene like that, again, it's all about having all the right trained people around you, and that's why I love going to work, because I know I'm working with people that have trained to the same level of me to start with. It's like a club of people that are all high level athletes.
So do you think, my bit's coming up, don't mess it up?
No, you just got to stay cool, right? So
just go with it.
So,
yeah.
But that was great. That was one of my first films, Children of Men. I remember loving being in all the makeup and all that they gave you. And I remember coming back to Chelmsford and going in the Chinese and ordering the Chinese with all my warm makeup on.
Amazing.
It's really cool.
Did you do that with the grayscale stuff on from Game of Thrones?
No, that was painful.
I've got a question. So you do lots of stunts. You're very proud of your stunts. Are there any stunts that you've watched and you've just gone, wish I could have done that. Wish that was me. I wish I jumped out of that building.
Yeah, there's a lot of car stunts I'd like to do. I've got a bucket list of things that I'm sort of been ticking off over the years.
You shouldn't really call it a bucket list when you're a stuntman.
I guess not. Wow. So yeah, there are some car stuff that I'd like to do. Some that I just haven't had the opportunity to do along the way, and I'm sure they'll come up. But
what car? Do you want to do a corkscrew jump? Like
yeah, you can.
Julianne,
there is a place so you can just go and do that if you want to. If you just need to know who to go to. But yeah,
is that a secret level of the stunt academy you can unlock?
Yeah. So that's good, but that's just for fun. But it's good to know what you're doing before the cameras roll, which is always the plan. Know what you're doing before you rock up and just do a stunt.
So we'll stuntmen just get together and have a laugh, and they're like, let's go do some corkscrew jumps.
Yeah, there's lots of training that goes on behind the scenes, and it's very bespoke. It's a bespoke industry. In the UK, there's about 500 people that are on the British Stunt Register. So,
and do you get directors coming up to you and say, Andy, we need a really big stunt for this. What's the craziest thing you can think of?
Yeah, it does happen.
The horse on fire. Set the horse on fire and jump it off a skyscraper.
Yeah. Oh, poor horse.
I know.
No, it's all right. The horse is trained. It can hold its breath for 4 minutes.
Yeah. You get asked sometimes some things that aren't really great. So you have to say, look, you never say no. You just say, have you thought of this as another option?
Yeah. This would look better on camera and be safer.
Yeah. Yeah, and we can do it quite a few times, because you're not only doing these things once, right? This is what people forget. They only see it once, but you have to do it from all the different angles many, many times. So that's why you need pads.
Pads. So you get 2 stunt guys in pads and a pantomime horse outfit.
Yeah.
Set it on fire, jump off the skyscraper, much safer.
Well, when we make that movie, we'll have a chat.
Horse on Fire, it's going to be called. Flaming Hooves, Part 2.
Yeah.
Horse in the City.
Hooves. Yeah. Flaming Hooves, well done. So how did you get into stunt acting now? I mean, is it going to be hard to get into stunt acting? I mean, obviously, I'm not asking for myself. Literally, I walked up the steps. You guys jumped up here earlier, and I was like, I ain't doing that. I'm going to walk up the stairs.
How do you get into acting or
stunt acting?
Stunt acting.
Stunt performance.
Okay, right. So you join the British Stunt Register. So that's the key thing to do. So there's a list of requirements, and you have to fulfil those requirements. When you join, you join as a probationary member, and there's a 5-tier structure. So after working for years as a performer, then you coordinate your own stuff after years, and then you can. Took me 18 years to become a stunt coordinator, which is the level I'm at now, and I'm starting that journey now. But so in the next 20 years, that's my plan to to coordinate.
If you're starting out though, is it like, you know, when you go to the Kingsmen mansion and they're going to put you through loads of trials so you can join the stunt register?
It kind of.
You can't just think like, oh, I want to be a stuntman, I'm going to go and sign up. And
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It takes a long time. It took me 3 years, and I had 3 sports already. So people that haven't got those sports to start with, you know, very, very fit person, it can probably takes you about 5 years. So it can take as long to become a stuntman as it can to get a law degree. So it takes
it's
a long
so
time.
much more fun.
So much more fun.
And you get to wear wigs in both as well.
And you get to wear wigs and dress up. It's brilliant.
There's a lawyer in the audience going, I thought my job was quite fun.
Look at your IMDb, and a lot of people are impressed by Christopher Nolan or Emmerdale or Danny Dyer. What the kids are really impressed about is you were stunt double for Mr. Bean.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, the fact that Rowan Atkinson doesn't do his own stunts is incredible for a start, but
I almost
Mr.
didn't
Bean-
believe it.
Yeah.
I was like, he is one of my top actors of stunt performers, Mr. Bean.
Yeah, what were you doing as Mr. Bean?
I did a Snickers commercial actually. So running across rooftops, and it was on TV for about 3 years.
I remember it, yeah.
Yeah, so that was really cool working with Rowan Atkinson, such a legend. I just remember him in his dressing room, just looking in the mirror, pulling his faces, doing his gurning faces, and getting into character.
Is it limbering up, like getting a rubber face going?
Yeah, but he was so scared of working at height. You know, we built a platform out the back of the Chinese temple. So yeah, just making the actors feel comfortable at work, and then doubling them, smashing through the roof and stuff.
You were running across the roof.
Yeah, so I had to
falling
slip down and slide up, and actually the stunt guy before me who did that, he broke his ankle. Funny enough, well, not funny enough, but he broke his ankle before,
Just how stunt people
which is really bad,
And
which is not good.
Was it hard performing in tweed?
In tweed? No, not really. No.
No, more comfortable than a flaming suit.
Yeah, it's fine.
Right.
It was fine. So that was a really cool job, and so it was a nice advert. So I definitely like to double him again if
we freeze frame, can we see you? You know, is it obviously you?
Everyone who knows me know the way I die. There's a certain way that
Oh no, we need. I mean, this is audio only, but we need to know what the signature.
Yeah, it's like a certain flick. It's like, yeah, I know it was you because you always die like that. It's like,
what is the signature Andy
I
Pilgrim?
don't know. They just say that I've sort of fall and die and fall over in a certain way.
But you know, there's that Hollywood sound, the Wilhelm scream, where they put on everything. What's the Pilgrim's death? Come on,
the Pilgrim's
Are you
death.
going to do it for us?
I don't know.
Sorry, I know you're not ready to perform today, but I think we need to see the Pilgrim death. don't we?
The Pilgrim death. Oh my goodness.
And I'll describe it for the audio listeners. Andy's going to die now.
You want me to die?
Yes, please.
Oh dear. This is like,
Who wants Andy to die? Come on. Who wants Andy
die.
to die? Say
Take
no.
that out of context. Who wants Andy to die? And everyone will die. Yeah.
I'll do a quick death for you. It's easy.
How should we kill you?
You shoot me, right? Where
Well,
do you want to shoot me? Shoot me in the head or shoot me in the...
Let's get that girl there. Come on. We're going to shoot Andy.
You want to
go?
Oh, no, I need to stand up.
He's got to stand up.
I've got to stand up. That's the only way. And I have to take my phone out.
What's your name? Warrior. Okay. Powerful name. Warrior's a powerful name. Warrior's going to shoot Andy right now.
Cool. Where are you going to shoot me now? Because that makes a difference, right? Is it head shot, shoulder shot, knee shot, stomach? You know, what you got in mind?
Headshot.
Oh, that's nasty.
She's been playing
That's nasty.
Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, watch out.
Be careful with this rug. It's from John Lewis.
Okay, so yeah, John Lewis rug. No, it's very safe. A John Lewis rug.
Yes, definitely.
You got to worry about the cheaper
Do I have
rugs.
to move that away?
Okay. Yeah, look, here we go. There's some stunt coordination going on here. Andy's just instructed Adele to uncross your legs for safety. Thank you very much. Oh, shall I be the director? Okay, rolling. The camera's rolling. Yeah. Wow. So, listeners,
That
was incredible. Warrior, our child, full headshot, and Andy fell onto this beautiful John Lewis rug, which now makes it so much more valuable. The resale price on that is going to be through the roof. Yeah, exactly. Can put the video clip with that. I mean, I think that's an amazing place to end our podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to Are You Creative podcast. Thank you to our guest, my guest co-host, Adele.
Well, thank you for having me on here. Oh, I got a clap. Oh, nice.
And our guest, Andy Pilgrim. Thank you. Woo! Thank you very much to Essex Podcast Festival, Chelmsford for you, NGDA, who I normally do this podcast with. City Sound as well. It's their first birthday. Hooray!
Birthday.
Whee! Chelmsford Theatre, Radio City Beer Works for providing some delicious beers for this. That was nice.
You've gone so corporate. Look at you.
I know, I'm so corporate. They've sponsored this episode slightly. Wow. What else? Thank you to John Lewis for the rug and all the stuff we're going to take home with us afterwards.
I'm having that rug.
Yeah, I think that's it. So, Andy, bye.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.